Lane Tech basketball is on the air. First road test of the year for Lane as they travel to the Jordan James Center to take on Bolles College Prep. Thank you so much for joining us courtside here at the James Jordan Center. Alex Burstein on the call here, quite literally courtside. Slightly different camera angle than usual, but definitely an amazing gymnasium we're in right now. Just about a minute's drive away from the United Center. All the Bolles banners from numbers retired to division to NBA final champions. Really awesome gym here where Bolles College Prep plays their home games, and Bolles College Prep hoping to make a statement tonight against this Lane Tech team. It was a rough start to the year for Bolles Prep. Not exactly. It's definitely a rough start to the year playing against some top teams in the New Trier Loyola Thanksgiving tournament. They faced off against St. Ignatius and Lake Forest, and teams for anyone who knows anything really about Chicagoland high school basketball. Ignatius was ranked top 5 heading into the season by the Sun-Times. Lake Forest has a top 5 senior in the a top 5 junior in the entire class in Illinois, Asa Thomas. Just very impressive stuff from those two teams, and Bolles College Prep had to face both of them early on, so the 1-3 record, not exactly surprising. I talked with their head coach, Jacob Goldstein, Bolles Prep's head coach, Jacob Goldstein, earlier last week, and he was just talking about how these early games are really meant to prepare this Bolles Prep team, even though they might not get the wins for a tough Noble League schedule that they'll be starting up later this week. This is the last really prep game for Bolles before they have their conference opener against Spear at home on Thursday. Lane Tech, it was a very different story, a very impressive start to the season for them. They went 3-1 on the season. They had a big win over Niles North, and the injury-depleted Niles North with a big win nonetheless over them in the third-place game to advance up a spot from their fourth-place finish the last time the tournament was contested. But those were all home games for Lane Tech. 4 on the year for them. This is their first away game in game number 5, and they'll be hoping to show they can do it on the road as well. Just a quick programming note for tonight's broadcast. We have no visual access to the scoreboard from where we are broadcasting from, as it's kind of right straight down from where we're broadcasting. So I'll be keeping score by hand and checking all the timeouts and whatnot, but just want to say we might not have the score as quick as usual after every basket. Okay, we're back on. Sorry, we are dealing with some different Wi-Fi than usual tonight, so hopefully that is going to get back on. If anyone has any notes, they can tweet at Lane Tech Basketball or at Alex_Burstein, as we said, going with a new broadcast setup for tonight's game, but I think it should be all worked out. Should be about 4 minutes until tip-off, so that means it is time to get into our starting lineups. First, for Bolles College Prep, at home for the first time this season, they'll be going with top 5 that has a lot of experience, starting off with Benicio Cruz. He was part of the championship team last year, a 5'8" senior guard. He'll be getting the start to go along with Cameron Pointer, possibly the best player on this team. 6-foot guard, was second-team All-Conference last year as a sophomore. Very impressive stuff from him. He'll be hoping to have a good game tonight. He had a couple of big games in the tournament last week, and he'll hope to open up stuff at home well tonight. The rest of the starting lineup for Bolles College Prep, it'll be Rocco Suter, the 5'11" senior guard, Aaron Watson, the 5'10" sophomore guard, and Curtis Owens, the 5'8" junior guard. And when I talked with Coach Goldstein last week, he mentioned Owens, but he mentioned him coming off the bench. Then he went and got all tournament at last week's tournament, now gets into the starting lineup for tonight's matchup. So really impressive stuff from the junior there. And if you mentioned one familiar theme in that, it was I mentioned all 5 of those players as guards. That's right. All 5 players in the starting lineup tonight for Bolles will be listed as guards. Lane Tech, slightly different. They are a very guard-heavy team, but they'll have at least some players who do not play in a guard position in the starting lineup tonight, going with the same 5 as they did last week. In last week's final game, that's slightly different than they did for the first 3 games of the week, but they'll be going with Sean Malloy, the 6'3" senior, top guy on this team. Really impressive stuff from Malloy to start the season. Had an all-tournament nomination, honoree, whatever you want to call it, at the Battle of the Bridge Thanksgiving Tournament. Averaged like 12 or 13 a game. Really Malloy. To go along with him will be Jack Tsor, the 6'3 junior. Has scored 3 points in each of the last 3 games, so he'll hope to at least keep that going, or maybe expand on it. Ethan Grunebaum coming off of his best game of the season. The 6-foot-ish point guard will get his start. He had 16 points, a career high on varsity against Niles North. 8 in the first half, 8 in the second half. Impressive stuff from him. We'll hope to keep that little streak going. And then to go along with those two, it'll be those 3. It'll be number 22, Shahid Solibo, second career start for the sophomore. Got his first career start on Friday and had a really good game to go with it. 14 against Niles North. That is his career high. And just impressive stuff from the sophomore, who's probably going to be a 4-year varsity player. He was on varsity last year, but did not get any starts. And finally, number 24, Lucas Basil, the big on this team, 6'6 senior. Had his season high on night 1, 22 against Jones, and then kind of cooled off week 6, 2, and 7 in the next 3 games against Inglewood STEM, Notre Dame, and Niles North. But he'll hope to play like he did that first night tonight and see where he can take this Lane Tech team. I have 5:29. Bulls Prep looks like they are going back into the locker room for a second, but we should be ready for a tip here in just a minute. As we mentioned, 3-1 is the... looks like we are having some video problems here. We will try to get that all set. And looks like we're back on air. We might switch to Wi-Fi. We'll see what we do, but I think we should be live on air right now. Once again, this is our first away setup of the year, so we are just slightly working things out with how we are going. Yeah, sorry, we're just currently working with the amount of video coming into the broadcast. Be better off with our video connection for the rest of the night. OBS our broadcasting thing has been all set up, and we should be ready to start in just a minute. As we mentioned in our open, we do not have access to the scoreboard from our vantage point right now. However, I think it has zeros all around. We can see like just the edge of the scoreboard right now, but it should be starting in just a minute or so. Lane Tech and Bulls College Prep. Lane looking to get to 4-1 to start the season, and this is the start of a big week for Lane Tech. Only 2 games, not as much as they had in the start of the season. However, it's a very big game Friday night. Biggest stage they'll probably be on all season, playing against Taft at the Chicago Elite Classic. That is at Credit One Union Arena, and should be a fun matchup there. Obviously a rivalry game and a very big event co-hosted by Simeon and Whitney Young. We're looking forward to being there on Friday night. But first, tonight's game, and I cannot tell you what the delay is here. Oh, it might be the referees. Just notice I do not see any referees here for tonight's game. That likely could be the delay. Lane Tech is still taking their threes on the other side of the court, and Bulls Prep is just not on the court right now. They went back into their locker room. So hopefully we'll get the referees start here soon, and we'll get the game started. I believe as we were doing the starting lineups, it might have been when our video was going up and out. So we are going to do those one more time as we try to kill some time until the referees get here for the for Bulls College Prep at home. Actually, I've been so used to saying the visiting team first, as Lane Tech has been home every single game this year. But for the home Bulls College Prep Bulls, it'll be Benicio Cruz, Cameron Pointer, Rocco Suter, Aaron Watson, and Curtis Owens, your 5 on the court for Bulls. I cannot tell you if that's the same 5 they've gone with all year. However, doing my prep, those were some of the top guys that came up scoring-wise and just player-wise. So likely that those are the 5 that we have been playing a lot this year. As for Lane Tech, it'll be Sean Malloy, Jack Tsor, Ethan Grunebaum, Shahid Solibo, and Lucas Basil, your 5 on the court. Pretty good stuff from all 5 of them tonight, this season, as head coach Nicholas Legalbo of Lane is going to call in his team. Lane Tech will be dressed in their away greens for the first time this year, laced in the white and gold. Bulls Prep in their home whites, although you cannot see them on your screen right now. They are still in the locker room. We mentioned it at the top, but just an absolutely beautiful gymnasium here at James Jordan Center. And we just had an update from one of the coaches here at Lane Tech. Sorry for going off the air there a second, folks, but it is going to be one of the assistant coaches from Bulls Prep who's certified to be a referee is going to be the ref for tonight's game. So that should be interesting. That might only be one ref. That was what was the problem to start the game at 5:30. There just was not a referee here, but we should be getting going here in a minute or two. They said the ref is getting dressed. Both teams back on the court after they both stopped playing for a second, but both back in their layup lines. And yeah, for those of you just joining us, a slight referee problem. No ref here yet, but an assistant coach for Bulls Prep is going to, who is IHSA certified, is going to be dressed for tonight's game, and he's going to go get dressed right now. And we should have tip-off just a couple of minutes late. We were slated for a 5:30 first tip, and instead looks like it might be 5:35 or 5:40. Just one game tonight here at Bulls College Prep. Lane Tech JV at home tonight against Simeon, as is the freshman team. So just varsity tonight as Lane hopes to get to 4-1 to start this young season. Alex Bursting on the call here courtside. Lane Tech on the bench right now. Bulls Prep getting in some last-minute drills. You can probably see it on the right-hand side of your screen. We are right here next to the Bulls bench, the Lane bench right now. We're basically, I want to say 3 feet or so from the inbound line. So we'll just hope no balls come flying our way and crash into our equipment. If you do see the camera go off for a second, good chance that a ball or a player crashed into us. But knock on wood, hoping none of that happens tonight. Slightly different setup for tonight, but obviously love being courtside. We'll have a great view for tonight's contest, and you guys at home have a very interesting vantage point. We'll see the full court view. I know a couple years ago at the I think it was the Rose Shootout when Lane Tech was playing Brother Rice at Mount Carmel. We had a similar view for a radio broadcast, but always interesting to see all the different ways we get set up here at the different Chicago Public League, and this isn't even Chicago Public League, the IHSA schools. Bulls Prep in the Noble League, actually, as they, one of the strongest teams in the Noble League, the reigning champions. Jacob Goldstein in his 7th year as coach. He's had a great tenure with this Bulls Prep team, and they'll hope to go back-to-back with their titles this year. Looks like we are just about set for tip-off here at Lane Gymnasium. Excuse me, not at Lane Gymnasium, at the James Jordan Center. As we mentioned, it'll be Grunebaum, Malloy, Tsor, Solibo, and Basil, year 5 on the court for Lane Tech. And for Bulls, it is going to be Cruz, Pointer, Suter, Watson, and Owens. Just going to tweet out the link to our broadcast real quick as the Bulls Prep has one last word. As we mentioned, Lane Tech in their away green uniforms with, I guess you could say, gold, mainly gold lining and a little bit of white. Bulls Prep in their home whites with red lining. Bulls just taking an extra second in their huddle, and then they are going to break right now, and we should be ready for tip, assuming that it is going to be Lucas Basil in the circle for Lane Tech to start things off tonight, as it has been every game so far this season. Not sure who's going to be in the circle, and as you see Bulls walking out onto the court right now, Lane Tech definitely has the taller starting lineup. Grunebaum is the shortest guy in this Lane Tech team, and he looks to be about the same height as most of this Bulls team. So Lane Tech really going to want to feed it into the paint tonight and see if they can get a lot of those inside points. That is where we expect a lot of Lane Tech scoring tonight. And we're ready for tip-off here at James Jordan Center. Just about 8 minutes too late. Not too bad. It'll be Basil in the circle and number 22, Aaron Watson, in the circle for Bulls College Prep. That is a 8-inch difference between these two. Referee not dressed in ref clothes, just in street clothes for tonight's game, as it's not the ref I guess we were expecting for tonight's game, but we're underway in tonight's contest. Ethan Grunebaum will get things going for Lane Tech. Grunebaum had a big game on Friday night, gets the pass down low. Now Basil, top the key, pulls for 3, no good. That will be rebounded by Bulls Prep, but nice press, nice effort here from Lane Tech defensively, but Bulls Prep will pull away with it. Right here, pulling for three is going to be Owens. No good, rebounded by Basil. And Bulls Prep will get the rebound. So nice second chance here from Bulls as a three is drained by Pointer. An early start here from Bulls College Prep. They lead 3-0 early on in this one. Malloy down low to Basil. Tight defense here, man-to-man. Oh, no, looks like a zone early on from Bulls College Prep, but Basil gets the put back in, and it is 3-2 Bulls. I guess something I did not think about before the game is we're not going to actually be able to see the scoreboard for the time either tonight, so we'll be just going off of, I guess, how long it seems, and we'll check at the timeouts for the time and scoreboard of tonight's game as Malloy gets a steal, going to push it to Grunenbaum. That's going to be intercepted by Bulls. Some sloppy basketball early on here from Lane Tech as Bulls with an early 3-2 lead. Down low, Watson goes up for two, can't get it. Now Malloy going to push it on the other side of things. He turns it over. Lots of turnovers early on from Lane Tech. One of the key for Lane Tech this year has been turnovers on defense. They've pushed a lot, but they have not turned it over as much as they have this year as Basil misses the put back, and Bulls with a chance to extend their early lead. Pointer, one of the top guys on this team, passes it off for Bulls. That's going to be Owens going up for two, misses eight, fights in there for his own rebound. That is going to go off of Lane Tech. Lane Tech, they said, and Bulls will keep possession. Owens, as we mentioned in our open, was not a starter for this team at the start of the year, and now he does get into the starting lineup, was all tournament at last week's Thanksgiving tournament for Bulls Prep, and just a really impressive season from him so far. You see Bulls Prep shooting the ball a lot as they're losing a lot of the height matchups, but it's been working so far for them, especially with the rebounding, just playing very aggressively from Bulls Prep early on. And once again, folks, sorry about the camera angle for tonight. No, it's a little bit awkward. The refs walking around and whatnot as this one stripped by Tsor. And Lane Tech will push it on the other side of things. He's going to take it himself, go up for two and one. They're going to call it. And looks like it's actually two Bulls Prep guys running the refereeing staff tonight for the game. It'll be 4-3. Lane Tech gets their first lead of the game here in the first. And Jack Tsor will look to make it a 2-point lead as he tries to complete the and one play. Tsor, a two-sport athlete, also with baseball. Hasn't been a super big scorer so far this year for Lane Tech, but he can really shoot the ball as he misses that. Rebounded by Basil, who goes up for two, and Basil has his first two of the night, 6-3 lead for Lane early on. Watson seems to be running the point early on for Bulls. It goes in for the layup, no good. That will be rebounded by Lane, and they're going to push it the other end. This Lane Tech team really likes to push the ball fast down the court as Salibo gets his first touch of the night. Tsor, top the key, out to Grunenbaum, pulls for three. That is good. A three-pointer from Ethan Grunenbaum and a 9-3 Lane Tech lead. After Bulls Prep had the strong start, keeping Lane Tech to just 2 points for the first couple of minutes, now the Lane offense starting to come alive. They have just 3 baskets in the last minute or so. Pointer with it, driving on Malloy. Nice matchup today. That'll probably be the matchup of the night, and if Malloy can do more of that, it'll be really good. On the other end, Storr goes up for two. He already has more than he did all of the last 3 games. Had 3 of all last 3 games. He's up to 4 tonight, and a timeout is going to be called. We're going to go check the scoreboard real quick and be back in just a second. You're watching Lane Tech basketball on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. $11-3 to score, just as we had it. 4:52 to go here in the first quarter. So just a couple minutes into this one, and Lane Tech jumping out to an early lead, 8-point lead. Bulls Prep jumped out to that early 3-0 lead, but since then they have been kept scoreless. Lane Tech defense doing its job, Malloy especially with those steals early on for Lane Tech. And they'll hope to keep that up here in the second half of the first quarter. Pointer's going to bring the ball up the court, so I guess I misspoken. Bulls is going to go with a couple of different guys bringing the ball up the court tonight. They've already had Pointer and Watson do it. Now in the corner, they have Cruz being guarded by Salibo. Bit of a mismatch there. They'll pass it off instead. Watson with it, gets it inside to Pointer. Pointer on Salibo. That's another good matchup tonight. Lane Tech sticking with man-to-man early as the 3, no good, rebounded by Pointer. And Lane Tech's going to push it. That one's stolen, though, by Watson, who gets the easy lay-in to go. And Bowles is back on the scoreboard for the first time in a while, 11-5 to score. So Lebo on the other end, reverse layup, no good. Rebounded by Bowles. That was Owens there, who got way up above the Lane Tech defenders for the rebound. Cruz, one of the leaders on this team, the senior guard, gets past a couple of guys. Lane Tech wanted a travel on that one, I think. But refs won't call it, and Bowles will reset things. Cruz with it near side. He's going to drive on Tsor. Go up for the little hook shot. No good. Rebounded by Grunenbaum. They're going to push it to a wide open Solibo, who will slow things down. It would be like a 1-on-3 situation. Tsor drives in, and they're going to call a foul. And looks like Tsor might be heading to the free throw line for the second time tonight. He will. Went 0 for 1 his first time to the charity stripe. 11-5 to score. Lane Tech leading early on in this one. Alex Burstein on the call here, courtside from Bowles College Prep. Thanks for joining us. Malloy and Grunenbaum in the backcourt. Basil and Solibo for Lane in the paint as Tsor makes his first free throw. Rosenkrantz going to check into the game for Solibo, and a couple subs for Bowles College Prep. Looks like that's going to be Tyshawn Oliver into the game, and I did not see the two other guys who came in, but we'll get that in a second. It looks like Owens and Pointer, the only two who stayed in for the first substitutions for Bowles College Prep. Tsor tries to make it 2 for 2 from the line on this trip. He does. 13-5 to score. Lane Tech's lead back up to 8. And looks as if, Tsor's going to check out of the game for Zanders on that one. So Bowles Prep will restart their inbound. So Rosenkrantz, Zanders, Basil, Grunenbaum, and Malloy are 5 on the court right now for Lane here in the first quarter of action. Casey Mobley into the game right now as well for Bowles. He has it right now, driving out the middle, left-hand side, goes up for 2. He's got it. A little bit of offensive momentum here for Bowles. They cut the lead to 6 here in the first quarter. Rosenkrantz with it. He's been good for a couple of baskets every game, but decides to give it out to Zanders instead. In the corner to Grunenbaum. Basil gets absolutely jumped on down there. That is going to be called on, trying to see, I think that's Mobley there. Yes, Mobley is going to get called for the foul. Excuse me, that might be Tyshawn Oliver as a steal here on the other end by Bowles Prep. They're going to push it. Both these teams pushing their offense really early on tonight as ball comes right over here, and they are going to say it stays with Bowles College Prep. But, yeah, as we were saying, both these teams' offense pushing it up the court on almost every single possession at a fast pace as they try to take control of this game. Bowles Prep trying to come out of an early deficit. And my apologies, that was Tyshawn Oliver who had the foul on the other end of the court. This one tipped away. Basil and Oliver is a true even height matchup. First true even height matchup we've seen tonight. Oliver, the tallest player on either team, is 6'7". He's listed as Melvin Dower, going to check into the game for Owens, who will get his first break of the night. Bowles Prep now with almost an entirely different roster on the court as we saw them start the game with, getting almost all their guys playing time. Lane Tech has had 2 subs into the game so far tonight. As they get to Mobley, top the key, Mobley being guarded by Grunenbaum. Mobley missed a hook shot early on tonight on his first shot. This one pulled for 3, no good from, I think, Sanchez that was. And Lane will push it on the other side of things. Grunenbaum almost loses his dribble. Rosenkrantz instead will drive. Reverse. Can't get it to go, and that will be rebounded by Oliver. This is the height that Bowles Prep needed. Lane Tech was winning the rebounding battle early on tonight, and 2 more subs into the game for Lane Tech soon. As Dower will get it. Pulling for 3 is Mobley. He can't get it. And Oliver will get it. Oliver goes up for 2. No good. And Lane Tech will get the basketball back. As we were saying, there's that height that Bowles Prep needed for those second chance baskets. They haven't really been able to shoot anything inside tonight. But now with Oliver on the court and also Dower, who's listed at 6'2", looks like he might be a little bit taller on the court. Bowles has some height. As Lane Tech misses another look down low. Pointer in the game right now for Bowles, misses the 2. He's had a somewhat quiet night so far. As Grunenbaum pushes it, Euro step, gets the basket to go, and Lane Tech is on the board after a bit of a scoring drought for both teams. 15-7 to score now. 8-point Lane Tech lead here in the first quarter. three-pointer. Outlet pass down low. That is going to be missed by Dower. So 2 shots down low from the big guys for Bulls Prep. They have not converted on either of them. Lucky for them, though, Basil has not been able to convert down low tonight. And this has been one thing Lane Tech has done a lot with Basil. He does not play down low like a traditional big. He's been playing on the perimeter as Grunenbaum misses a 3. Even taking a couple of 3-point shots. Lane Tech not using the 6'6" guy on their team as a 5. I mean, he technically is in the 5 spot, but not playing down low like most teams would. As Mobley gets the 2 to go, and a little bit of a scoring run here for Bulls Prep. 15-9 now the score. They're sticking in that 6-point range early on tonight. As here we see Basil playing on the perimeter. He's going to roll down low. Malloy will take it himself again. Tried to pass it off to Basil, I think, unless it was just a bad pass. And Bulls Prep will get the ball back. Joseph Perona, Lucas Basil, and one other guy who I did not see comes into the game right now for Lane Tech. So it's going to be Perona, Rosenkrantz, Springer, Zanders, and I can only see 4 on the court right now. And Grunenbaum, your 5 on the court right now for Lane, as this one's going to go off of Lane Tech, and Bulls Prep will keep possession. First quarter still here at the James Jordan Center. Lots of subs into the game right now for both teams. As Perona gets the tip, he's going to get it. Passes it down low to Rosenkrantz, who goes up for 2. They're going to call a foul. I did not see any contact right there, but ref saw it, and Perona will head to the line to shoot 2, I think. No, excuse me, Rosenkrantz will head to the line to shoot 2. Perona was the one with the pass to get there. Two shots for Rosenkrantz. 15-9 the score, a 6-point Lane Tech lead. Galbo having a conversation with Grunenbaum right here, as you can see right in front of the camera, as first free throw missed by Rosenkrantz. Not a lot of seating here at Bulls Prep, but pretty packed stands for tonight's Tuesday night matchup. Usually Lane Tech does not have Tuesday night games, as they usually play Wednesday night conference games, as Rosenkrantz goes 0 for 2 from the line, rebounded by Naylor. And Mobley will bring things up. But yeah, as you were saying, conference not underway quite yet for Lane Tech, so they are going to have that Tuesday night matchup tonight. And Monday night, Wednesday night, starting next week, Wednesday, Friday is conference. As conference gets underway next week. Down low, going up for 2 is Naylor, gets the putback. Naylor was the shortest guy in that area, but gets the putback layup, and Bulls Prep is within 4, 15-11 to go here in the first quarter. Springer also playing on the perimeter. Rosenkrantz down low to Springer, no good, and Bulls Prep will push the pace. 3, that was an NBA range 3. They have both of the 3-point lines, high school and NBA, on the court right here, as it's technically, I don't know if it's a Bulls-owned facility or they just gave some money, as this 2 no good. But the offense here from Bulls Prep is rolling, and it's going to be 15-13 the score. It's a 2-point game. Timeout is going to be called. We'll be back in just a second, going to go check the scoreboard and time. But a big start here for Bulls College Prep. You're watching Lane Tech Basketball on Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. So 16 seconds left in this one. So in the first quarter of this one, I should say. So Lane Tech's going to likely get the ball and try to hold for a final shot. For those of you joining us, we do not have the view of the scoreboard for tonight's game, so not able to give as up-to-date time on every possession for tonight's contest. But we're checking as frequently as possible. 15-13 is the score, though. It was 13-5. It was 13-5 just a couple of minutes ago, but a big run here for Bulls Prep, and they've got this one within a possession. When I talked to head coach of Bulls Prep, Jacob Goldstein, he acknowledged this was going to be a tough game. Lane Tech, a really good team, but his Bulls Prep doing very well to stay in this one tonight. A lot of it, they are playing very aggressive defense, and despite being the shorter team in tonight's contest. They're making their shots, and they're getting rebounds. I'm not sure who's winning the rebounding battle right now, but it's definitely close, and for Lane Tech, they do not want to be close. Right now, Bulls Prep going with a slightly taller lineup than they were at the start of the game, but especially at the start, a very short Bulls Prep starting lineup. As Perona's going to get it, give it to Zanders, who might bring the ball up for the first time this all season. Grunenbaum to Springer. Now Zanders inside, gives it to Springer. Springer must only have a couple seconds left. They're going to call a foul, and Springer will head to the line to shoot two. Pretty clean contest tonight. Not a lot of fouls called at all. Springer's going to head to the line. I think this is the fourth time Lane Tech has been shooting all contests, so I guess not super small amount of fouls, but pretty clean game to compare to some of what we saw last week. As Springer makes the first free throw, Lane Tech's first basket in a while, 16-13 now the score. Lane leads. On Friday, both teams were fouling a lot, Lane Tech and Niles North, especially Lane. As Springer goes 2 for 2 from the line, that's a 4-point Lane Tech lead, and that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter of action. Lane Tech jumped out to the early lead. They led as big as 8, however, a late comeback by Bulls Prep has this a 4-point game, 17-13 your score. We'll be back in just a second. Oh, looks like they're actually going to reset the clock. Must be just for a second or two. And it's not going to be end of the quarter. Now they are going to say end of the quarter. Refs going back and forth. So that is going to bring us to the end of the first quarter of action. We'll be back in just a second. You're watching Lane Tech basketball on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Second quarter action is just about ready to start here at the James Jordan Center, here just west of the United Center. Beautiful facility and some nice basketball, but also some messy stuff from both of the teams, especially Lane Tech early on in this one. Some uncharacteristic turnovers from Lane early on. They've got a 4-point lead as we head to the second quarter of action. It'll be Mobley bringing things up for Bulls Prep right now, but Lane Tech into their full court press, which worked against, I'd say, 2 of the 4 teams. It works here last week, but Perona is going to turn it over quickly. They're going to say, possession stays with Lane Tech, actually. So last week against Niles North and Notre Dame, they were able to figure out the press pretty quickly. With Jones and Englewood STEM, not as much. So we'll see how long Lane Tech does this and how long it takes Bulls Prep to be able to figure out this Lane Tech full court press as Perona misses a 3. That one going to be tried to be rebounded by a bunch of guys. It's still on the ground, and a jump ball is going to be called. I believe that is Bulls. No, that should be Lane Tech possession, actually. Bulls Prep started the quarter with the basketball. Looks like Malloy playing at the point guard position right now, even with Perona in the game. Malloy listed as a shooting guard, however, he can play in the one spot as well. This ball poked away from Watson, but Lane Tech will keep possession. Perona driving up the middle. He's going to get called for a foul. Bulls Prep just kind of has a lot of guys down there near the paint, so whenever Lane Tech tries to drive, it seems as if they are either losing the ball or getting fouled, but it's just very crowded, and it's kept them from scoring just clean shots as Rosenkrantz pulls for 3. He's got it. First three-pointer in a while for Lane. Their lead back up to 7. 8 has been their largest today. As going in for the 2 is Naylor. They're going to call a travel. And Bulls Prep leaves some points off the scoreboard they could have gotten quickly, and it's going to be a full team substitution right now for Bulls Prep. I don't know if this is trying to create some confusing matchups or what, but 5 guys into the game, new guys into the game for Bulls Prep right now. As Owens going to guard Perona. Perona gets it down low to Malloy. Malloy being guarded by Cruz. This looks more like the starting lineup as down low, Goonan going to get his first points of the game, and the Lane Tech offense looking alive once again. Lane Tech looks like kind of running their press a little different than usual tonight. Might just be because Bulls Prep gained the ball up the court so quickly as Pointer falls with it, keeps his dribble. Perona dives for it. Both of them on the ground right now. This will be stolen by Springer. The big man with it, gives it down low to Perona, goes up for 2, no good. Lane Tech having trouble finishing on the fast breaks tonight. They either seem to stop with the ball before getting a shot off, or they're just not making the shots as Cruz pulls for 3, no good. And the shot, no good. I did not see who took that, but we'll see who heads to the line. It's going to be Jalen James, the 6'3" sophomore. James, one of 2 sophomores with a lot of promise for this Bulls Prep team, along with Melvin Dower, who we saw earlier on tonight. Both sophomores with a little bit of height for this Bulls Prep team, as first free throw is good to bring the score to 22-14 Bulls. Alex Burstein on the call here from the home of Bulls College Prep basketball. 22-14 the score. Second free throw, no good. That will be rebounded by Springer. Free throw's been up and down for both teams early on tonight. Malloy with a long pass to Goonan. They'll get top the key to Springer. Springer drives in right-hand side. That is going to be taken by James. Now taken back by Perona. This is what we were talking about, the messy basketball. Just a lot in back and forth from these teams early on tonight. Malloy pulls for 3. He's been quiet scoring-wise tonight. Lucas Basil going to check into the game momentarily for Lane Tech, along with Shahid Solibo, as Lane Tech gets some of their starters back into the game. Pointer slowing things down, gets a screen to his right, passes it. They tried a little give and go there with Oliver, however, it's not going to work. And they're going to say Lane Tech basketball. I'm not sure if they call a penalty on that or a travel, as Rosenkrantz, Springer check out of the game for Solibo and Basil. Nice couple of minutes for both of those two, as Malloy will bring the ball up the court for Lane Tech. Second quarter action here from the road opener for Lane Tech, as Malloy goes in, and he's going to get the and one. Kind of just floated in there for the layup. I didn't see any contact. It must be your angle here, because for a couple of these fouls, we have not seen any. I've not seen any contact on Lane Tech guys. However, the rest have called it, so it must just be from this different vantage point tonight. Malloy heading to the free throw line for the first time to try to complete the three-point play. Can't. He's been a pretty solid free throw shooter this year, but can't complete the three-point play. But Basil will add 2 to it, so a 4-point drive there from Lane Tech. And their lead now up to 12, 26-14. Biggest of the game so far. Pointer gets it poked. And on the other side of things, Perona will go up for 2, and the Lane Tech offense is off. 28-14 now the score. They've doubled Bulls Prep. Pointer is a big part of this Bulls Prep offense, but seems that he's gotten the ball poked and stolen from him a lot, as this one's stolen by Perona. I feel like we talk about this every single game as he gets blocked on the other side of things. Solibo goes up for 2. Put back by Malloy, no good. And Lane Tech's going to get a 4th chance on this drive. Goonan goes in and gets the and one. But as we were saying, Perona just really aggressive for this Lane Tech team, both on the offense and defense. Not in a bad way at all, but forces a lot of steals. We saw him jump very high in that last one to get the steal. And Goonan will now head to the line. 30-14 is the score I have. A 16-point lead for Lane, as Goonan unable to complete the 3-point play. Rebounded by Oliver. And Cruz will get it near side here. That will be poked away by Malloy, but Cruz runs in to get it. 3 attempt from Owens, no good, and Lane Tech will get the basketball back. They're playing with a quick offense once again, and it's working pretty well for them. Down low, Goonan. Nice little scoring run for the senior. 32-14 now the score. And Lane Tech continues with their biggest lead of the night, just slowly expanding that. There's going to be a foul called, I think, on Solibo, trying there for the steal. The sophomore had a career high of 14 in the game last Friday, and a bunch of subs into the game once again for Bulls Prep. It'll be Suter, Dower, Mobley, Wallace, and who's ever inbounding it. Oh, that is Pointer, who stays into the game. But 4 subs quickly for Bulls Prep. They've been doing big changes, and a double team from Lane Tech is going to force Goldstein to call a timeout for Bulls Prep. 32-14 the score. We'll be back in just a second. You're watching Lane Tech basketball on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Exactly 4 minutes left on the clock for this second quarter. 32-14. Lane Tech on a big run. Just looking at the score breakdown here, it was 15-13, and since then, Lane Tech has gone on a 17-1 run. And the last time that Bulls Prep scored, it was 22-14. Lane Tech has scored 10 unanswered. Impressive stuff. Run here from the Lane offense. They'll hope to get it going out of this Bulls Prep timeout, and it was the Lane Tech defense going into a double team, so kind of breaking their man-to-man for a second to double team Bulls Prep and force them to call a timeout. There'll be Malloy, Solibo, Goonan, Perona, and Basil, your 5 on the court right now for Lane. It looks like they might be going into a zone here. Yes, they're going to be in a 3-2 zone coming out of the timeout. It might have been like that before, and I just didn't see. Perona, it's kind of like a box 1, actually. Perona coming out to the top, and it's working somewhat well for Lane Tech. And it's out with it going to be Wallace. Wallace gets the ball poked away from Perona. They're going to say that went off of Perona, and Bulls Prep will keep possession. Not a super fast-moving game. We also had a slow start to this one because it was there was no official refs here, so a couple Bulls Preps coaches who are certified had to come in for it, as the 2 floater good from Mobley, and Bulls Prep scores for the first time in a while. They cut the Lane Tech lead to half, not in half, but 32-16 now the score, as Solibo on the other end of things tries for a crazy end one, but they'll call a charge on him, and Bulls Prep gets the basketball back. Soar going to check into the game for Perona, and Grunenbaum going to check in for Goonan. I'm guessing it's actually the opposite there. Soar for Goonan and Grunenbaum for Perona, but those 2 into the game right now for Lane Tech. Second half of the second quarter, as Pointer pulls for 3, misses an air ball, rebounded by Grunenbaum. Grunenbaum will push things on the other side. Nice pass to Malloy. Malloy thinks about the 3, instead hands it out to Grunenbaum. Couple of open shots there for Lane Tech. They decide to pass it instead. As Solibo kind of gets bottled up here by Watson. He's going to try to drive the baseline, goes up for 2 and gets it. Rim was his friend there, kind of just went around the rim for a couple seconds before dropping. 34-16 now the score. As Pointer has it, whenever he is in, it seems like he has the ball the most of the time, as the junior drives it and goes up for 2 off the side of the basket, so Lane Tech will get possession. Inbounding it. As we mentioned, Pointer was second team all-conference last year as a sophomore, but Lane Tech doing a good job of keeping him relatively quiet, scoring tonight. As Solibo, kind of a guard-forward hybrid, will bring the ball to court. Nice defense here from Mobley. Mobley probably the player of the game right now for Bulls Prep. He's been really impressive. Solibo pulls from mid-range, tries to get the nice bounce, but won't get it. Rim was his friend on the last possession, not this time around, and Pointer will get it. Gives it inside to Dower. Dower to Suter. Suter gets the ball poked away from Basil, and this one going to be a fast break for Lane Tech. Grunenbaum goes up for 2. He gets it to go. Scores for, I believe, the second time today, and a 20-point lead for Lane Tech, 36-16 here in the second quarter. It was a slow start for Lane offensively, but they've had 2 big runs. They're in the middle of a second big one right now to kind of break this one open. And Solibo sticks with the man-to-man defense, and we'll call a foul on him as Wallace will head to the line looking to get his first points of the game, the 5'11 senior guard. Some alarm went off. I don't know if that was the end of the quarter or not. Looks like coach going to reset something on the scoreboards. I don't think it was. As first free throw from Wallace, is good. Excuse me, camera slightly off there. My apologies, folks, but went just in after a nice bounce. 36-17 the score, 19-point lead for Lane Tech. Lane Tech with 4 guys in the paint right now. Grunenbaum hanging out just outside the perimeter. Wallace hoping to make it a 2-for-2 trip. He can't. Off the front of the rim, Lane Tech will get the rebound. Grunenbaum running the point right now. He's probably the first-string point guard, although Lane Tech has so many guys bring up the ball. As Soar misses a 3, and Mobley will bring things up on the other side of things for Bulls. Suter, who was in the starting lineup for this Bulls team, gets trapped. Looks like Lane Tech might be back into their man-to-man defense. Sometimes it's hard to tell with this Lane Tech team. They're primarily a man-to-man team. However, this year we've seen some more zone defense from them as Malloy comes flying in, gets in the corner to Solibo for 3. He's got it. Shahid Solibo with a nice basket there, and Lane Tech lead up to the biggest it's been today, 22 points. Mobley gets it to Suter. Suter tries to respond to a 3 of his own. He will. And Rocco Suter brings it within 20. Grunenbaum gets fouled on the other end of things. Oh, no, they're going to call... Oh, no. Sorry, I thought they were pointing towards Bulls Prep. It'll be Lane Tech basketball. No, they were pointing towards it. So it must have been a clean block, and Bulls Prep gets the basketball back. Nice possession there for Bulls defensively. Couple subs into the game right now for Bulls, as bringing the ball up the court is going to be Mobley. Mobley kind of solidifying himself over Pointer right now as the point guard with both of them in. Suter loses the basketball and is going to give it out inside to Mobley. Grunenbaum kind of pushes that away. Watson goes up for the flying 2, can't get it, rebounded by Solibo. Solibo gets double teamed off to Soar. He's going to push the pace on the other side of things. Grunenbaum already has a 3 tonight. Make it! Another one. Couple baskets from Grunenbaum early on, and Lane Tech's lead now 42-19. On the other side of things, foul called on Watson, who will head to the line to shoot a pair. So Lane Tech had a nice little streak where they were just extending their lead every single possession. Little different this time around with Bulls Prep, at least for a couple times, having some response points. As first free throw, no good from Watson. Watson had 11 last week against Round Lake. That is his highest scoring game so far this year. And second free throw on its way. That one no good. Rebounded by Basil. And Soar has been bringing the ball up a lot more so far tonight. As the foul is called, so that layup's not going to count. But Soar, one of the guys on this team who is listed as a forward. There's not a lot of them, but lanky guy, he can bring the ball up as a guard as well. However, playing in more of the 4 position, I'd say, for Lane Tech this season. And he'll head to the free throw line for the 3rd time tonight. Went 0 for 1 and 1 for 2 his first 2 trips to the line. That didn't look like it was shooting foul, so Lane Tech must be in bonus. First free throw is good. Yes, it was a 1-and-1, and he'll get a second free throw. This is what we've seen all season, early on, but the players just always confused when a team just gets into bonus over when he has a second shot, when he doesn't. We saw a lot of this in the Battle of the Bridge tournament last week and seen it continued here. As Soar will miss a second free throw as he continues that one miss every single time to the free throw stripe. And as time expires, a 2 no good, and that will bring us to the end of 2 quarters of play. Our scoring got messed up really quickly. I believe it's 42-21, but we're going to check that in 1 second, and we'll be back to wrap up the first half and get ready for our second half of play. So 43-20 is going to be the halftime score, a 23-point Lane Tech lead. Bulls Prep scored a couple of baskets late to kind of stay in this one, you could say, but Lane Tech's offense doing its job early on to take the matchup. We expected Lane Tech to win this one. Even Bulls were saying that this is really a tune-up game for conference, just to kind of expose the weaknesses in their team as they get ready for hopefully another strong conference run for them. But Lane Tech playing well early on, some stuff they'll hope to clean up in the second half with turnovers. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes to recap the first half of action and get you ready for the final 16 minutes of play. 43-20 your halftime score. You're watching Lane Tech basketball on Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. A big first half of scoring for Lane Tech. They take a 23-point lead into the locker room, 43-20, their halftime lead. Thanks for joining us, Alex Burstein, inside our halftime show here inside of James Jordan Center. Nice night for basketball Tuesday night. Chilly outside, nice and warm in here for the first road test of the year for Lane Tech. And it's been going pretty well for them. They do definitely have some things to clean up, which we'll recap in just a second. But overall, Lane Tech looks like they're getting close to their win they were hoping for tonight. They could even get close to 100 points scored. I don't want to jinx anything, but 43 in the first half. They're definitely not too far off from, I guess they average would be 86 in this game, which would be their highest in a while. But we'll see how the second half plays out, how long they keep their starters in. But as we mentioned, 43-20 the halftime score. It's been a pretty balanced effort. We do not have our stats so far tonight, but from what I've seen, a pretty balanced effort from all scorers tonight. Grunebaum has 9. He had a nice clutch 3 there at the end, and Jack Tsor has 7. So those are your two leading scorers for Lane Tech. It is a season high for Jack Tsor, whose season high was 3 coming into tonight. He's had a nice first half. Grunebaum, that might be a first half high. I know he had 8 in the first half against Niles North, but those two have put together some impressive starts to this one. Both teams still in the locker room for talking over with their coaches. Both the coaches probably have some things they want to talk over, mainly talking about those turnovers, especially with Lane Tech. Lane Tech has forced a lot of turnovers so far tonight, but tonight they've seen their fair share of having them as well. Really tight defense from Bulls Prep, and that's exactly what head coach Jacob Goldstein of Bulls College Prep wants to see. I talked to him last week, and he was talking about learning how, teaching this young Bulls Prep team how to really use the man-to-man defense and whatnot, and they've done a pretty good job with it tonight. He said the program always uses man-to-man. They're not going to filter that out even with the number of young players they have in the program this year. And definitely some hope for this Bulls Prep team for the rest of the season. Will they get it done tonight? 23-point halftime deficit, not looking extremely likely, but it's basketball, a couple baskets, and this could be anyone's game. That's going to be probably the key for this Lane Tech team in the second half. With all the injuries out against Niles North, they were the big favorite on Friday, and they played like it. They opened up some big 20-point leads, but then the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter, they didn't even get to put their bench in because it got a little bit closer. I think one time down to 10 points, which obviously still a lot, but in basketball that can be changed up quickly. So big key for Lane this second half is just going to be to keep their lead. Don't want to lose it in any fashion here in the second half, and just show that they're able to power for a full 32 minutes, maybe even get some guys who have not played much this season some playing time. 43-20 the halftime score as Bulls Prep walks onto the court. Both of the next games for these two teams are really big. Starting off with Bulls College Prep, they face off against ITW David Spear on Thursday. That is their conference opener. That's a home game for them, and then they play a very tough Bennett Academy team. Bennett very hard always on Saturdays. So Bulls Prep playing some hard teams to start the season, and likely they'll see some, I don't want to say lesser talent, but some easier teams in the Noble League Conference. So these probably are some good tune-up games for Bulls. As for Lane Tech, next game is Friday at the Chicago Elite Classic. That is a 9 p.m. tip-off against Taft. We'll have the call for that one courtside, I believe so, from Credit One Union Arena. So looking forward to that one. And then next week, we finally get into some conference play for Lane Tech. They've struggled in conference the last couple of years, not enough to keep them to get them into demotion trouble, but they're always knocking on the door, third or fourth last place in the conference. Bottom two get demoted, so they're going to hope to have some more convincing wins this year. They started off against a Schurz team. They started off against North Lawndale next Wednesday. They have a game against Steinmetz on Monday. That's not conference, but they play North Lawndale on Wednesday. That's a home game at 5 p.m., but North Lawndale is a good team. They're close to being ranked, I think, at the start of the season. I don't think they quite made it in, but North Lawndale, always a strong team. They had one loss last week to, I want to say Oak Forest. I could be wrong on that, but they did have one loss last week. But definitely that's going to be a tough game for Lane, and then they play Schurz on the road next Friday at 5 p.m. That should probably be the easiest conference game for Lane this year. Schurz has kind of been stuck in the Red Northwest. A lot of the problems with the teams that come up is they'll have one really good year with a bunch of good players, and then the next year those guys will graduate, and then not as strong of a class the next year. They would have gone down last year, but no demotion or promotion in the public league last year due to COVID and weird schedules and whatnot. Buzzer rings, and we're ready for some second half action here at home of Bulls College Prep basketball, James Jordan Center. Not sure who the starting five is going to be for both these teams. Lane Tech has traditionally gone with their same starting five for the first and second half, so I assume they'll do that again here tonight, but maybe they'll switch it off. You gotta think it's a little bit different now. The games still mean the same, but last week it's a tournament. They're playing a lot of games, a lot of time trying to keep the legs fresh and whatnot. This week they only have 2 games the whole week after they had 4 and 5 days last week. So maybe slightly different strategy for Lane Tech on who they play, who they start, although they did go with the same starting 5, and they played pretty similarly, the guys, throughout the first half as they did last week to build up this 23-point lead. Lane Tech's been somewhat hesitant to pull their top guys. They have 10 guys who basically play the whole game, and then there's 5 or 6 on the bench who don't really play. But they've been hesitant to put those guys in, just really wanting to make sure they do not mess up any leads to start the season. As it looks like it's going to be Owens inbounding it to Watson to get things underway, and we're good to go here. 8 minutes on the clock, second quarter action. Watson almost loses it, but we'll get it to Pointer. Looks like same starting 5 for Bulls Prep on the court right now as Pointer gets stripped losing it. Now Soar almost loses it, but he'll pick up the loose ball and give it to Grunebaum. Soar, defense here from Watson. Despite the height mismatch, he passes off instead. Grunebaum goes up for 2. They're going to call a jump ball that should be possession. Lane Tech. Grunebaum going in for those layups. Likes to do like a little hop step. It almost makes it look like a travel. It's not. He's taking the right number of steps, but slows things down and gave Bulls Prep a chance to get the jump ball there. Soar inbounding it, gets it to Solibo right outside the perimeter. Solibo being guarded by Owens. Screen from Basil. They get down low to Soar. Soar, 7 points in the first half. Tries to bounce it to Solibo. He can't, and Suter will push things on the other side. Soar tries to poke it away. Now will come up with it. So Lane Tech not letting Bulls Prep get any shots early on this half. They have not made any either, though, as the lead sticks at 23 right now for Lane. Grunebaum. Looks like Owens is on just about every single player. They're switching whoever has the ball onto him, as in the corner pulling for 3 is Basil. No good. That is rebounded by Pointer, and Bulls Prep will get the basketball back. Still looking for their first shot here in the second half. Owens goes up. That is going to be blocked by Soar. They're not going to call a foul, but it will be Bulls Prep possession. For those of you just joining us wondering why there are no refs on the court, there are, just not dressed in the usual ref uniform. Some assistant coaches certified with the IHSA from Bulls Prep reffing tonight's game after there was no ref at the start time for this one, and they didn't want to start too late. Solibo going to hold in front court, screen right, decides to drive instead on the left-hand side, misses it. It's close to being able to finish. A nice play right there, but instead Bulls Prep will get it back. Owens with it, being guarded by Soar. Lane Tech in a man-to-man defense here to start off the second half. Pointer, who struggled shooting, loses the ball. Malloy with it. They're going to call a jump ball. Possession arrow points towards Bulls Prep, so they will keep possession as Oliver and Mobley going to check into the game for Pointer and Cruz. Mobley I've been very impressed with to start this one off. No like leading scorers for Bulls. Well, there must be, but no one super standing out in the box score for Bulls Prep. But Mobley, really great dribbling, impressive stuff from him. As a block there by Basil, he just put his arm up and swatted it away. Soar will push things on the other side. Season high 7 for him already tonight, but dishes off to Basil. Malloy with it in the corner, pass to Basil, goes up for 2, can't get it to go. That one rebounded by Oliver. Pushes Basil off him, and Watson will bring the ball up the court for the Bulls. Mobley loses his dribble. I don't know if you could see that on the camera there. A couple times, these Bulls Prep players have just been going so fast that they kind of stumble. They're able to keep their dribble, but it's definitely slowing down their momentum as Suter goes up for 2 and gets it. Nice finish there from Rocco Suter, the 5'11 senior guard. And first points of this half for Bulls Prep as Malloy drives the baseline. He's going to pass out, foul called. They'll call a blocking foul on Watson. And Lane Tech will get the basketball back. I believe I missed a basket, so my scoring is a little bit off. Somewhat around a 20-point lead right now for Lane Tech. We'll check at the next timeout. Solibo wide open underneath, gets it. There was just no one around him, not contested for the layup at all. And Solibo on the scoreboard this half. Nice handles there from Owens. Tries to complete the nice play. That would have been impressive, but cannot finish it. And Solibo will push things down the court for Lane. Malloy, Watson guarding him. Drives the baseline, passes it out. Grunebaum, that one almost tipped away from Mobley. Instead, they'll get it near side to Soar. Sorry about the camera there, folks. And a travel is going to be called on Grunebaum. We've seen more travels than usual, at least I have, in the IHSA games I have seen. Maybe just start of the season. As 2 subs into the game right now, it is going to be James and one other for Bulls Prep who I missed. It looked like Oliver as well. Maybe it was just one player and the 2 were walking next to each other. So Jalen James into the game right now for Bulls Prep. He has it right now. Probably the second tallest player, maybe on the court right now. Third tallest player on the court, second tallest for Bulls. He provides some height to this team as they get down low to Oliver. And the 2 no good. Lane Tech will get it. Bulls Prep has done a great job getting shots off this game despite the height differential. If they've made a couple more of these, this will be a much closer game. And they're going to call a jump ball. Lane Tech thought that they had it. jump ball is going to be called, and Lane Tech, I think, keeps possession. Yes, possession arrow will count towards Lane Tech. Lane thought they had 2 points, as Zanders and Rosenkrantz going to check into the game for Tsor and Solibo. It'll be Grunenbaum inbounding it right next to us in the by the broadcast table, as Grunenbaum gets it to Zanders. Zanders thinks about pulling for 3. He's been a little hesitant to shoot, you've seen, after missing a bunch of shots in the first 2 contests, mainly the first contest against Jones, as Owens goes up for 2, no good. Rebounded by Oliver. He just jumps onto it, goes up for 2, and a foul is going to be called. Oliver, the tallest guy in the court, and Basil, who does not necessarily like to play down in the paint. So if they just keep on sending Oliver down low, Tyshawn Oliver, the 6'7" junior, he will, that could lead to some points for Bulls Prep here. Misses the first shot. It's a little far left, as Springer are going to check into the game for Basil. Springer and Basil really the only 2 guys who can play in that 5 spot for Lane Tech. I mean, other guys probably could. However, those are the only 2 we have seen play in the 5 spot this year for Lane. One of those 2 always on the court, it seems, as second free throw missed by Oliver as well. He goes 0 for 2 from the line. And Rosenkrantz almost loses it to... He'll keep it, though. Nice defense there from Pointer. Zanders pulls for 3. He just misses it. Rebounded by Springer. And Lane Tech will be able to reset their offense. Malloy gets a screen to his right-hand side. Malloy going up for 2 and 1. That's been Malloy's sweet spot all season long. Driving to the basket, picking up the foul. And a lot of the time, he's able to finish it as well. And he'll hope to make it a 3-point play here. Springer and Zanders in the paint for Lane. Rosenkrantz and Grunenbaum in the backcourt. A couple of Bulls Prep players conferencing with their coach. As Malloy able to complete the 3-point play, and he continues his strong season at the free throw line. I think he's missed 3 all year and made, I think, 12. I'll rekindle my stats after tonight's game, but he must be 12 for 15 or something like that. Entering tonight, he was a very good 11 for 13. Oh, he had more than I thought. He's probably like 14 for 17 now. But a very strong start to the season for the line from Malloy. As Mobley with it. Sanders switches on to him, goes for the far layup and gets it to go. Over his head, kind of like a hook shot layup. And nice stuff there from Mobley. Rosenkrantz with it. Down low, bad pass. Sanders recovers. Sanders trying to take it. That's the wide open shot, but no good. He got Mobley on the ground there, and Bulls going to push it on the other end of things. Shot missed by Owens. Fighting on the ground for it. They're going to call a jump ball that should stay with Bulls. Apologies, folks. We have not had the chance to check the scoreboard in a couple of minutes. There's no timeouts called in this one, and I think our score might have been messed up here. But a big Lane Tech lead here in the 3rd quarter of action. Oliver going to check out of the game for Melvin Dower. One of those 2 has been in the game for most of today, not in the starting lineup, but after the starting lineup, it's either been Dower or Oliver into the game for Bulls Prep. As Owens tries to drive the baseline, instead goes towards near the free throw line and 1. A turnaround jumper gets the shot to go. Oh, excuse me, that was Mobley. My bad, folks. Looked like Owens had it. Actually, Mobley has it. He gets the and 1, and he'll try to complete the 3-point play. Perona going to check in for Malloy. Not sure who they called that foul on, but an impressive shot from Casey Mobley, the 5'8" senior guard, returning the varsity this year. He misses it to the right-hand side, but gets the putback. Misses that one. That would have been a very impressive 2 shots made by Mobley if he had gotten that one to go, but Lane Tech is going to get possession back. And it looks like Bulls Prep might be trying to press full court. No, they're going to back up and continue with a half-court press here. Grunenbaum with it, gives it to Springer. Lane Tech continuing to play their bigs on the perimeter here. As Grunenbaum gets it, tries to drive right-hand side, passes it out to Zanders. Zanders, 0 for 1 shooting today, gives it out to Grunenbaum. Grunenbaum with the long 3, they call it. Looked like it was a 2 from my vantage point. Oh, I was looking at the NBA 3 line. He gets the High school 3 to go, and Grunebaum continuing his strong scoring run these last 2 games. Perona off the steal, can't finish. Zanders gets the rebound though, and a jump ball is going to be called. A lot of jump balls called in this half. This time points towards Lane Tech. We have not seen a lot of jump balls called in any quarter so far this year, and already I think 4 maybe this quarter between the 2 teams. As Zanders trying to inbound it over Pointer, he can. Gets down low to Springer. Springer goes up and gets the 2 over Dower. And now Bulls Prep will bring things up. Perona pushing the full court. They're going to double team. Grunebaum gets a steal. Grunebaum goes up for the 2 himself. He's got the easy lay-in to go. And nice little scoring run here for Lane Tech to expand their lead. On the other side of things, Mobley goes up for 2. Nice move to the basket. Can't finish, though. A couple of these Mobley plays, if he was able to get it through the net, they would be very impressive. He's done a great job getting to the basket tonight as Grunebaum airballs the 3. Zanders running for it, though, and Lane Tech will get a second chance at it. Zanders now out to Grunebaum. Grunebaum trying for a second chance at 3 this possession. He can't get it. Springer to Grunebaum again. 3rd time, not the charm. Rebounded by Pointer. And he'll bring things up. Tough shooting drive there for Lane Tech as Grunebaum goes 0 for 3 shooting from 3, but he's had a good game otherwise as Pointer misses the 3. Lots of missed shots here from both of the teams. As they fall on the ground, that's going to call a foul. I thought they called another jump ball, and a timeout is going to be called. We'll be back in just a second. You're watching Lane Tech basketball on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. (55-26) the score. Lane Tech scored more and Bulls Prep scored less than I had thought they had this quarter. Just 28 seconds to go left in the quarter. Went quickly. Goes quickly when you are not able to see the scoreboard, I guess. But nice little run here from Lane Tech. They now lead by, trying to do some quick math here, 29 points. As they hope to put a wrap on this Bulls Prep team over the next 8 minutes and 28 seconds. We'll see how long Lane Tech keeps their top guys in. No starters in right now for Grunebaum, the only starter in right now for Lane Tech, but still the guys who we normally see play for Lane Tech on the court. 28 seconds, excuse me. We'll see if Lane Tech holds for a final shot. Grunebaum gets it, being guarded by Mobley. In the corner, they get to Rosencrantz, and it looks like, that was the wrong side of the court. Grunebaum gets it. That might have been a trick play by Lane Tech. I don't know. I was definitely thrown off, but Grunebaum gets the wide open layup. I thought they were scoring on that end for a second. And now 57-26 the score. Perona, fast break, goes up for the layup. He's got it as time expires. 4 late points from Lane Tech, 59-26. They lead a 33-point lead as we head to the final frame of action. Lane Tech looking to put a close on this one and get to 4-1 on the year. We'll be back in just a second. You're watching Lane Tech basketball on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. So scoreboard has 57-26, so I guess a 31-point lead, not 33, but a big lead nonetheless for Lane Tech as we enter the final frame of action. Lane Tech hoping to put the closers on this one It'll be Goonan, Rosencrantz, Springer, Malloy, and Perona, your 5 on the court for Lane Tech. And for Bulls, a couple subs into the game right now for them. It's going to be Naylor, Mobley, Wallace, Suter, and missing one guy down low. Looks like that is James for Bulls Prep. Lane Tech gets a double team. They're going to say that's Lane Tech basketball. So I guess Mobley kind of just threw it over them. It looked like it was tipped, but Lane Tech will get the basketball back, up by 31. Malloy, defense from Mobley, gets it off to Springer. Goonan gets it down low to Perona, who gets blocked. Big block there from Souther. They're about the same height, but Souther got in there for the block. It'll stay Lane Tech possession, but big play there from the senior. And Goonan will inbound things for Lane Tech. As we mentioned, Bulls Prep did not necessarily come into this one expecting a win. They wanted to see how they matched up against a really good team, as this 3 from Rosencrantz, no good. But there's definitely been some highlights for this Bulls Prep team, despite the big deficit that they can take into conference play on Thursday. As Mobley whiffs it into the far side corner. James pulls for 3. He's got it. Oh, excuse me. That was from Ty Wallace, not James. I was looking at 15. That was actually number 25. And he's got a 3 for Bulls Prep. On the other side, Goonan down low, goes up for 2. No good. That will be rebounded by Perona, who goes up for 2 and gets fouled. And Perona will head to the line to shoot a pair. Bulls Prep has not had a lot of 3s tonight. They shot more from the outside. That might have been... This might have been a slightly closer game, but that 3 from Wallace, one of their only 3-point makes from tonight. As first free throw attempt from Perona, no good. So Lebo going to check into the game for Malloy. Perona with one more shot at it. Perona also a 2-sport athlete, just like Sora, as you mentioned earlier. He also plays baseball, as a second free throw is good for Perona. Keeping this Lane Tech lead strong here in the 4th quarter. Mobley with it, tries to get past Perona. He does, pulls up for the off-balanced mid-range jumper. Can't get it. And Lane Tech will bring the ball up the court. Lane Tech not slowing down their offense at all despite the lead, as Springer gets 2 down low. Lane Tech breaking the 60-point mark in this one. Their offense slowed down a little bit, as Lorenzo Aquino looks like he's going to check in momentarily for this Lane Tech team as they start to put their bench in this one. Mobley with it, turns around, gets it. The 3 on its way, no good. Rebounded by Lane Tech. And Rosencrantz pushes the pace, gets it down low to Goonan, who goes up for 2, and a block out of nowhere from James. We've seen a couple of those from Bulls Prep. I think they probably have more blocks than Lane Tech does today. And down low, Naylor's going to get it. Missed a 3, goes up for 2 his next time down the court, and this time he does get it. So Lebo will bring the ball up the court for Lane Tech. Gets a screen to the right-hand side from Springer. The second time tonight, so Lebo's got in the screen, gone the exact opposite way. First time he couldn't finish. This time he does, though. And 2 more for the sophomore tonight. Omar Abushalumfa also going to check in for Lane Tech at the next dead ball, as Mobley pulls for 2. No good. That one rebounded by Perona. Perona sends a wide-open Springer, who goes up for 2. Had a weird little hop step at the end, but gets the 2 to go nonetheless. And Springer on the scoreboard for the first time this quarter. Naylor, the 5'7" junior guard, slows things down for Bulls Prep. Lane Tech pretty much has this one in the bag, so no team playing with a super big rush. Lane Tech, though, has been playing with a fast offense all day long, and Hayden Matthews also going to check into the game. So 3 subs in right now for Lane Tech. Omar Bushalumfa, Hayden Matthews, and Lorenzo Aquino coming in for Perona, Springer, and Rosencrantz. Aquino and Bushalumfa juniors, Matthews a senior. Matthews, we've seen, has a pretty good 3-ball. We'll see if we get to see any of those tonight, but Aquino will bring the ball up the court. Also, Carson Spencer into the game for Lane Tech. Spencer with the basketball goes down low, and they're going to call a travel on him. I did not see, so Lebo also came out of the game, so 4 subs for Lane Tech. Goonan remains the only player on the court for Lane Tech, along with the 4 guys who just came in. Watson with it. Grimes right-hand side. Gets it down low to Oliver. There's a couple subs for Lane Tech who I did not see. They have Pointer, Oliver, Watson, Wallace, and Suter. Your 5 on the court right now for them. We're going to have one more sub for Lane Tech momentarily. Spencer with it. Gets double teamed. Gets it to a wide-open Goonan. Drives the baseline. Blocked by Oliver. Gets a second chance, though. And that one's good there from Goonan. Watson will bring the ball up the court just as he did at the very start of the game for Bulls Prep. He's going to get stripped by Aquino there. Aquino, the shortest kid on this Lane Tech team, however, really nice handles for him as Pointer is going to hold, get it down low to Oliver. Oliver Payne just outside the paint, goes up above a bushel umpha and gets the 2 to go. Spencer right here in front of our gets blocked. Oliver with 2 blocks on 2 drives. Now Goonan pulls for 3, no good. That's going to be rebounded by Aquino. Aquino down low to Spencer. Spencer to a wide open Matthews. Matthews with his 3 ball. He's got it. And a timeout is going to be called by, I think, oh no, just the whistle blown. Thought there was timeout called. It'll be Bulls Prep basketball. Giuliano DeFranco into the game now for Goonan. So 5 guys, all first-year varsity players on the court right now for Lane Tech. We'll see if they can stick with these guys and keep Bulls Prep from scoring a lot. So what Lane Tech wants to see, how deep their bench is. As the 3, no good around the rim from Suter. And the ball is going to go out on Bulls Prep. Lane Tech will get possession. So both Spencer and Aquino can really run reps from the 1 spot. There's a couple more guys. Oh, a couple guys getting their first minutes of the game for Bulls Prep. That will be Christopher Quinones and Keyshawn Tenard into the game. 5'11 junior Tenard and 6'2 senior Quinones. Despite this, Bulls Prep going full court press, and Aquino is going to get fouled, driving in for 2. He'll head to the line to shoot a couple. As we were saying, Aquino, really short player, but has some excellent handles. They're actually going to say he wasn't shooting, so Lane Tech will get the basketball under the basket. Spencer will inbound it. Lane Tech in their inbound position. Bushel Umpha, the only one outside of it. They try to get to him. They will. Now out to Aquino. And Lane Tech will reset their offense. A foul is going to be called. They called double dribble on the point guard, and Bulls Prep will get the basketball back without Lane Tech having the chance to take a shot. Also into the game now is, we don't have a 20 on our roster for Bulls Prep, but number 20 for Bulls into the game. There was a couple of alternates for Bulls Prep. Must be one of them into the game right now. As Quinones gets it in the corner, driving. That will be James, and they're going to call a travel on him. Excuse me, on Wallace. Travel on Wallace, and Lane Tech will get the basketball back. Can't see the scoreboard. Don't imagine there's a lot of time left in this 4th quarter. Scoring has kind of slowed down with these players, new players into the game right now. Keno being guarded by 20, gets it to Spencer. Lane Tech just playing it around the perimeter, slowing things down. The Bushel Umpha holding the basketball. I'm wondering if it's the end of the game here. Not sure. As DeFranco hands it off to Bushel Umpha, he gets double teamed. And that is going to be the end of the game, folks. We're going to run to get the final score real quick. We'll report that to you. We'll be back in just a second. You're watching Lane Tech Basketball on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Took the score away really quickly, but 69-33, I believe, your final. Big win for Lane Tech. 36 points, able to get some of their bench playing time at the end. And Lane Tech opens their away schedule with a big win over Bulls Prep. They came in knowing what they were expected to do. They do just that. Some messy turnovers for Lane Tech in the first half, but they fixed that up in the second quarter of action, and they advanced to 4-1 on the young season. Bulls Prep falls to 1-4 on the year, and they will start off conference play on Thursday. We'll be back on the broadcast booth on Friday against Taft in the Chicago Elite Classic. That will be a fun one. It is a 9 p.m. tip-off late, so either get your tickets or, as always, we will have to call here on the YouTube channel. But that's just about going to wrap up our coverage for tonight's contest. 69-33, your final score. A big win for Lane Tech. They get to 4-1 on the year. Thank you so much for joining us. Your final score here from the James Jordan Center. Lane Tech 69, Bulls Prep 33. We'll see you Friday night. Good night.